Okay, this is my second time attempting this boss fight, so let's get this started. Yes.
Of domination.
We need to use the Netherstones on the crown. That is our fated path.
I'm still a little bit sad about having fight him.
That face. The one in my dreams.
I know you. I know everything about you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your weaknesses. And so do they.
We need to reach the core of its will. Get as close as you can to the crown, and cast the spell to compel it to submit.
Because I do not want to get caught in that dragon's aiming attack. So my main priority is getting over to that ground. But I need to create a distraction.
Forever, pal.
won't give in. What path lies before me?
Yeah, I can. Because that dragon did a bunch of damage.
pain is almost under control. Emperor is down.
Well, so much for peace. With haste. And cast the spell. We will keep the enemy at bay.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Impero.
Let's cook with fire, baby.
Best be on my way.
Okay, now that everybody's in bubble, I should just be able to go here once the portal's open and just make sure. Because at first I tried to do the encounter where I tried fighting that dragon and I got my health down pretty decently, but I ran into that non-loading time. So now I'm just trying to focus on getting everybody inside that portal so that I have as many people as possible doing DPS inside that on that side of my space.
Imperial duty. Imperial duty.
What? I almost, yeah, I almost missed myself over there. Actually, I'll refuse. It's just staying inside that one.
Can't afford to let up. Dominate!
grasp of itself slipping. This is your chance. Even bound, its will is stronger than anything you've ever felt. The chains shake, threatening to break at any moment.
Its will is weakening. Let's finish this. Its will is weakening. We have the upper hand. Time to end this.
Got to press on. is weakening.
subdued. At last. This is its death rattle.
Spare me. Join me. Wield me. Become absolute.
This is it, soldier. This is what we fought for. Time to end this thing.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of Karlak's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
No more tadpoles, brain. It's time to die.
I must obey. I must end.
Hopes, nightmares, and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn lipids. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. For the first time in a long time, your thoughts are entirely wrong. And then, gravity. Everything you did, everything you sacrificed, it was worth it. For this.
It's been an epic journey. Like, it genuinely felt like everything I did mattered. Although I didn't even need the summons or anything.
It's done. The Netherbrain is defeated. Along with the grand design, praise Mother Gith.
We really did it.
I can't feel the tadpole. They must have all died with the brain. That means we can't turn into mind flayers. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with being a mind flayer, of course.
It's all right. I knew what I was doing.
I will ensure that all Githyanki know your name and your sacrifice. What you have done today will start a fire that rages across the astral plane. With their lost prince returned, my people will burn away Vlaakith's corruption. And it is all thanks to you, the Illithid who defied a Netherbrain.
Like, to, like, making Carla, having her turn into a mind flayer worked out because, like I said before, like I think I mentioned this before, I messed up on her quest. And so, she would have died, and then that little speech she makes after she defeated Gortash, and just broke my heart just hearing that. And so, I wanted to make sure I did everything I could to make sure she could get as best an ending as possible, and I think this will work out.
I did, didn't I? I saved the fucking world. And I think I might live long enough to tell the tale too.
I thank you, my liberator, my savior.
The one thing I'm a little bit disappointed about is that I just rushed myself to the most room instead of
My people are leaving,
just dealing
and I
with the
must leave
evidence.
with them. Come, Lae'zel. We will free the Githyanki and dismantle the Empire. Let them be imprisoned no longer.
Shakvan Findu, source of my joy. Without you, I wouldn't know warmth. Only ice and fire. I can never forget you. Your name will be etched in our slates. You will be called Mlagir, Liberator. Orpheus, I am ready.
I'm gonna miss Lae'zel. I'm not sure if I'll do the gift quest though. I'm not sure. I might try to see how fast I can get the game finished with my next playthrough.
Farewell, Gestil, my liberator.
Never forget going into hell to get that hammer. That was arguably harder than the final boss. But well, no, that's not even arguably from my experience. It was harder than the
With the
final
Githyanki
boss.
gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city, smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Geontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. And once I have, I'll return it to Mistra. She'll cure me of my affliction, and I'll finally be free. And a more deserving one this time around. If this adventure has taught me anything, is that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, I'm growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Mistra will summon
Yes.
me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
Let's think about celebrations, right?
Let's see if the elf song's still standing. Their Golden Sands brew goes down real easy.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the...
Oh no.
Oh,
Starry
God.
Eyes.
Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
Back to the shadows. But perhaps not forever. Even the worst affliction can be fixed with some amount of sacrifice.
No. Like, I literally just made the decision not to have him do that profane ritual. Like, he's not doing it. Or at least not on a good playthrough.
It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no illithid empire, no death god's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate.
To be honest, that was hilarious when if it's still standing. Because it's just like that New York scene from Adventures where they're all sitting in the sandwich shop, the swarm shop.
6 months have passed since you defeated the Netherbrain. And since then, you have seen more of life than you ever thought possible. You are greeted as a savior, a champion, a hero. And sometimes you feel like something else entirely. An adventurer, a traveler, a survivor. You faced down the gods. You thwarted the grand design. Anything seems possible. But before you can write the next chapter of your story, you must end this one. That's why you're going back to where all of this began, answering an invitation to gather with your allies and friends.
This must be that block they added.
wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
Imagine if this took place in the modern age, and Withers just added everybody to a group chat and just repeated that speech. But instead of texting it, he sends it as a group, like a voice message.
There you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
Psionic projection is haunting.
Cool, fresh air. By the living gods, I need it.
Alright, let's circle.
Gods, I smell like a 70-year-old cinder. Withers yanked me from Avernus with my blade halfway through a Cambion's belly without so much as a chance at washing up. I'll forget all that. By the stars' light and the moon's glow, it's so good to see you, and I've got so much to tell you. The Hell Hunt's no mere duty, it's a thrill. The demons I've disintegrated, the devilkin I've bled, the stories I could share. I don't suppose you'd indulge me.
That Hell's aspect of D&D is one of the most interesting aspects I want to learn more about, so yes, tell me more. Like, I'm already loving this epilogue thing.
Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Amnitsu at the Styx, the three-tusked Orthon, or the invading Gorestroi?
I already know what fun is. I'm not gonna look up. Well, actually, let me look up. I want to eventually get a D&D monster manual so I can know what some of this stuff is. Okay, so it's basically kind of like a Minotaur demon. Okay, let me look at what the other one is. There's, I don't know how to describe this one. Looks like a sludge Jabba the Hutt with wings with a smaller face.
Styx devils, they're called. They usually prefer the frozen wastes of Stygia, but Zariel's got a few of her own for guarding the River of Blood. Fat bastards, all of them. Was on the heels of Amerigan who'd been stalking the wild hills and sprinted a little too close to the Styx. I felt my mind start to drain, an Amnitsu speciality. Bought just enough time for one of its minions to grab me and dangle me over the river. Could feel the Styx tugging at my memories as I hung over it, eager to drink me dry. But not even the Hell's minions are immune to a circle of death, and I had just enough strength left to conjure one. I leapt free of the minion's grasp, unsheathed my short swords, and rushed at the Amnitsu in a fury. When I'd finished, all that remained was a pair of paltry wings on top a pile of viscera.
Yes, like, as soon as I figure out how I get used to playing D&D and like a physical setting. I also have to tailor the gameplay and stuff to play solo. But once I get all that stuff figured out, and then I want to go on some more adventures like the one he's describing, because it sounds awesome. And the fact that all of those, like, information about all of that to the point where I could, like, write my own story like that. That was the cool thing about that, was just getting me deeper and deeper into this world. Finally, something finish.
I wish you'd been there to join in. Oh, to battle together, just like the old days. I suppose that's my way of saying I miss you. Tonight, I toast not just the people we've become, but the people we were. Warriors, winners, saviors. I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. She's kept me on a long leash, if you can believe it. Every target she's set me on's been a demonic intruder. Tenari assassins who slip into Avernus, Armonites that amass near the Styx. My next mark's the most challenging yet, or so she says. I don't know much more, only that it's no demon, but a devil. She's playing a game. I don't know what it is or how she plans to win, but I can tell you this much. I'd fall on my own blade and join the blood war in an instant should Zariel's hell-touched fingers stretch towards the coast. And as long as I'm more useful as a warlock, that's not a risk Mazora would take. I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side. Go on, the night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Now, there's a face I know well indeed. Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking very well indeed. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post. Busy as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form.
What?
You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
I still haven't forgotten about the fact that you took Sturgeon's eye and just ran off. But at least you gave him a fake one then, unless you see invisible people. So that's good.
It's all Volo as far as I'm concerned. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in. Be careful to not overindulge tonight, lest I lose control and slip into bear form.
Last time we were in bear form. I take that back. Last time in a casual said he was in bear form. He was literally on top of Scratch, and I thought he was dead. Well, first, the owlbear cub is now a full-size owlbear. He's sitting with my face with a big ass smile on.
He snaps the air and wiggles. He's either miming fighting a many-limbed creature or dancing. It's unclear. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you.
Let's see. Honestly, I wish there was some type of, I guess, like a player retirement house where I could, it's where you get, where it's just like a little area where it's just like this EFG camp. And then, yeah. Anyways, I'm getting off my attention. I must send a post. Wait, hey, wait. Post. Yeah.
The joy in the owlbear's eyes is clear. He longs to have a home, and Halsin is perfect.
Scratch.
There's something
Yeah.
strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. He whines. Less talk, more throw.
That's exactly how a dog would react.
Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement.
First, yes. First.
The whole gang is here. Wish I'd had time to polish up the horns.
Oh, go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it, Stretch. Life imitates reality. Well, well, I mean, like, if you know what that phrase means, you know. Like, wait, no.
You made it!
It's art
Not
imitates
really
life, or
party.
something like that.
Why is the night air always sweeter?
But, well, anyways, I'm not. Well,
There
I
you are.
was trouble to
Keeping
get
us
my
all
dog.
on
Let's see.
tenterhooks so you could make a dramatic entrance, is it?
Well, at least he finally went to. But sometimes I will try to play fetch with my dog. And even, like, sometimes they'll just run and just go past.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, so have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it.
Lifetime.
Same. In fact, I found a nice meadow not far from where I live now. Every now and again, I'll spend the night there. For old time's sake. I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. I had no doubt. But I'm glad to hear you say it all the same. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. I like to think so. Choosing my own path is still something of a novelty for me, but at least I'm free to make my own mistakes. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long.
I'm curious about Gil, but
Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited. Well, I've had run-ins with my former fellow Sharans on a couple of occasions. Word seems to have spread of what happened at the cloister. Now other chapters of Shar worshippers see me as a prime target to offer up to their lady as a sacrifice. Don't worry. I know their tired old tricks better than anyone. They'll need more than a hooded cloak and poison blade to best me. Especially when I have a friend on the inside keeping me abreast of their predictable little plans. none other. The matter of her faith and allegiances remains complicated, let's say. But she is still my oldest friend. I have hopes that perhaps she might turn from Shah entirely given time. But that's a decision she will have to make for herself. If that day comes, I'll be ready. I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight. I'd love to see if there's any truth to that. But enough about me. What have you been up to?
Oh, where? I'm curious about work. Like, it's not too far-fetched if werewolves exist. I think they have everything in D&D.
Don't be a stranger.
Ah, soldier. How glad I am to see you again. I'd started to wonder if I ever would.
I do not like the fact that my character literally has been avoiding the freaking girl, like, after. And if she got turned into that, she's probably. I don't know why I find out what. I want to find out what's first before I make judgments or making statements or anything. But I don't like movies are my only options. Well, I don't like the fact that this is how the interactions run.
I'm sorry I haven't reached out.
Oh,
I guess I wasn't sure what you'd make of me. I've changed so much. But then again, you have too.
Less. And
Don't I know it? It went so fast, didn't it? One moment we were on the Nautiloid, the next we were here. I'd ask you what you'd been up to for 6 whole months, but then I'd have to reciprocate. And I'm not sure you're ready for the truth. Let us test that theory. Do you remember how my favorite food used to be mutton chops? I'm now far more interested in, well, brains.
oh,
I thought I was good at cracking skulls before. Now I've got it down to something of a science. Or maybe more of a religion. I've made arrangements with a healer in the city. When a patient is beyond saving, but still able to speak for themselves, they're offered a choice. They can go as nature intends to take them, or when they're ready, when their goodbyes have been said, their affairs settled, and all that awaits them is pain, I relieve them. When I consume their brains, I am nourished by much more than the physical nutrition. Their memories, from birth to death, become part of me. I've lived hundreds of childhoods, first loves, marriages, feuds, and friendships. I remember them all. And in this way, we all live on together.
But I think this is a kind of a cool ending for Karlak, because Karlak, that was the story, was about having that danger in her chest being so hot that she couldn't touch anyone, but like in this by extension, like connect, but now in mind flare form, even though she's undergone this transformation, and then just going through the process of eating these brains for this consensual process with the healer and the patients and everything. But that's kind of like it's like I guess the ultimate form of connection in a way. Like it's a pretty interesting concept.
Thanks, soldier. It feels that way too. It's been wonderful to see you again. Reminds me of old times around the campfire. We used to think becoming a mind flayer was a fate worse than death. I wouldn't trade my life, this life, for anything. Funny how things change, isn't it? Enjoy the night, my friend. I know I will. A pity mutton chops no longer hold any temptation.
Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And you're looking more delicious than ever, if you don't mind me saying. Whatever you've been doing with your time, it clearly worked wonders.
I find it funny how Shadow calls me fat and then Mysterio likes my sees this element.
Ah, so it's the healthy glow you get from being a good person. That explains my power. But I'm glad to see the world has treated you well. You've earned it. We both have, in fact. And where better to celebrate our good fortune? An old haunt with old friends. Exactly what I feared. Without the protection of our little friends, I was just an ordinary spawn again, burning in the sun. I fled the dock and found refuge in the shadows until night fell. I'm sorry I didn't seek you out that night. I felt ashamed. Like I'd lost everything just as you claimed your victory. I didn't want you to see me like that. But time lent perspective. It wasn't your victory, it was ours. And for all I'd lost, I'd gained so much more. I had freedom, strength, a whole new life. And it was time to live it. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been.
Yeah, he seems like uncharacteristically, well, not uncharacteristically, he just seems in a good mood, like a super good mood.
No, this is all me. I swear. Don't get me wrong. I was a mess at first. Every day I yearned for the sun and mourned my curse to live in the shadows. But in time, I realized that darkness is as much a part of me as my fangs. This is only a curse as long as I refuse to embrace the shadows. So, I decided I would. I decided not to be defined by the choices other people made, by what other people did to me. My past may be done, but my present, my future, they're mine. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse.
See, I'm so glad that I did not let him go through that ritual. Because he seems like he is in a good place right now. I'm glad I helped him get out of that situation.
That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
I think people are way so probably safer from unrest. Or I hope Gil didn't mess with that crown and get himself entrapped.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou
You say
art
something
the
a bit,
savior
you
of
know,
Boulder's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
made sure to explore as much as I could of everything. Like, and I went and did the Underdark, and then went back and did the Mountain Pass, and then I did it. I did that. The only thing I didn't do was that Stonework quest, but that was because I messed up at the last light, and I won't go back and do that on another playthrough. But yeah, I definitely feel satisfied.
I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
I told that.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. You are right, of course. I am accustomed to dwelling on the past, even when it brought me nothing but unhappiness. You changed that, and gave me the most precious of memories. Now the task is to make yet more of them, so that each reunion shall be all the sweeter. And who's to say we need to make such gatherings a rare occasion? My hearth is yours to warm yourself beside always. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together. It is, truly, though a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. I spoke often of balance before. Only now do I realize that balance is no simple, fixed thing. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of. You are welcome whenever you like, and for however long you please. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. I am all ears, though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
Thanks. I never thought to imagine that, but now I know.
You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less, in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
Oh yeah.
Do you truly even need to ask? Of course. Who could not open their home to a befeathered hero of Baldur's Gate? Ah, and I did promise the children I would bring them back a surprise. Oh, imagine their faces. On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence. As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer need to roam. That I have found something worthy laying roots for. Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, even at a ripe old age. Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods as far as I'm concerned. I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company.
Yo, that was the greatest gift I've gotten from a video game in PC. But that was awesome. remember and give like wood like a little owl, giving it to one owl small time ago. Like, like owls, just it's an awesome companion.
Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can speak again later.
Oh, the inventory's like except for the necromancy, I think. That's the only one like I'm missing.
Though I'm going to get very hungry very soon. Mustn't think about any of the local brains. Far too tempting.
Withers has laid out quite a spread of food, one comprising mostly of bone. Perhaps he wishes to live vicariously through the attendee's appetite.
A pity mutton chops no longer hold any temptation.
Persons required. Yeah, I was not given that egg into that lady. Defeat the other. Okay. Oh,
There you are.
Tress.
Oh, right. You. Hello.
You talk. What? That's actually right.
Yes, I'm certain it is. As for you, well, I've heard congratulations are in order. You helped Mr. Dacarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? Well done. Despite my old friend's genius, he'd have blown himself up long ago if not for the help of friends like you and I. You ought to come visit myself and Gale when you're able, if you can extract yourself from what I'm sure are very important responsibilities.
Like, I think on the first second look, at the like at the final cutscene before this epilogue started. Like, like the steering wouldn't be able to join up. But, like, we'll see. That's why the 6 months. So I guess 6 months is enough time for everybody to process and stuff and give like a significant jump. But yeah, but definitely hang out with Gil when I can. I'm sure they can.
kitchen when we've need of you. I used to have a taste for them, but a great many things have changed in recent months. Ta-ta, darling.
I appreciate the fact that she's not eating the pigeons, because pigeons are not the rest of your pigeons. So, again,
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor
Wizard Bro.
Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance.
Professor Gale Wizard Bro. Professor Wizard Bro. That's nice upgrade.
I did offer, as a matter of fact. However, the Blackstaff insisted I couldn't teach every subject, nor could the simulacra of myself I offered to create for that purpose. So I've settled for teaching the art of illusion. Magic to confound the senses, to render the impossible into reality, and to allow expression of that most magical attribute of all, imagination. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them, or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would, and
Thank
in
you.
return she cured me of the orb at last. Even now I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils.
Gil being a teacher is like that. That's a fit. He's literally getting paid to talk. Thank you.
Ah, so you still remember our little lesson. It was at that moment, the weave connecting us, that I realized how much your friendship had come to mean to me. As it still does. You were, of course, indulging me in submitting to such a lesson. Teaching you was hardly an effort at all. Not like my present cohort of apprentices. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
Cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned?
Not not studying those, like only doing that for a decade, but maybe coming out from doing adventure and stuff. Well, not coming home, but just pulling out books and just reading them before going to bed or something like that.
From you, I'd expect nothing less. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'll have plenty of questions for you.
See, that's the cool thing. Like, I've been in schools for so long that if I knew what I had to teach. Like, I could probably come up with a decent lesson plan in a way and be able to get a variety of teaching styles. Not like, like, there's different forms of, like, how people learn, or visual and audio, and then hands-on and stuff. You kind of feel like in school, so like, there's a lot of students that are hands-on learners that end up getting messed up. And there's some people who are visual learners who can also get messed up in certain ways. Or, I guess, auditory learners, I should say. Like, but this is going on off on a tangent. Yeah, see, the wizard answer is exactly the answer I do. You get a reading list, so you have your students. Well, that's the thing. You all have to prepare your lesson in a way that Skim will at least makes it so that if a student didn't end up doing the reading, which based on what I've had in school, a lot of people don't do the readings. I try to do the readings, but I have a habit of doing stuff at the last minute, which ends up leading me to skim through stuff, but I'm better with it, especially when I'm taking classes on stuff I'm passionate about. Yeah, having a reading list ready for a lecture. And then, of course, the practical demonstrations, especially when you're teaching a science class. Because one of the things, like, physics is a complex science, and I don't even claim to know a lot about physics. Like, I know a little bit from astronomy, but it's just that there's enough, like, you can demonstrate the properties of physics with stuff, like, through demonstrations better than you can with math, because it's abstract. So, I feel like learning math would be easier if it was applied. Well, applied to something like a practical stuff, but anyways, I'm going off on a completely different tangent now.
Well, I, for one, can't wait. And I say with some confidence, neither can they. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
There is a song about a mixed mingle machine, and that song is so catchy. It's from Phineas and Ferb. Like, even after so many years, I still can remember. It's awesome. It's just... Oh. Dude, they pretty much put any outfit in the game with enough every outfit in every day. Every outfit.
Tonight, lest I lose control and slip into bear form.
I think I talked to everyone except for Lisa. First one this time.
Jack Van Findu. For 2 months, Orpheus trained me in the ways of the comet. For 2 more, I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. But nothing has made me quiver more than seeing your face here today.
Limbo, she'd said. A plane of chaos where you might drink fire like water, where you might breathe ice instead of air, and the home of the mystical Githzerai. Once the Githzerai were one of the Githyanki, until bloody civil war severed them.
I do. I approach the gates of Shraktalor even now.
Shraktalor. How well you know the name. The capital city of the Githzerai, and the home of their immortal god king, Zerith Menyar Agith.
Algish sent word of the rebellion to Minyara Gith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. I was as surprised as anyone when Orpheus spoke the order, my love.
Love. The word hangs in the air for a moment, before Lae'zel continues, unfazed.
My blade is keen as ever, but it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyara Gith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am a warrior of the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
Sleep us.
I know the feeling all too well. But that I can be in your presence at all is a wonder of its own. It has taken all of Orpheus's efforts to conjure my projection, and all of mine to convince him to let me come. Let's make the most of the moment, I say. May I kiss you? I can feel you, even taste you in this form. But it is as if a thin layer of glass separates us. I can't quite have the whole of you. But soon I'll find some way to see you in flesh. To touch you as you are meant to be touched. I need you. And when the comet has risen, we will be forever together. As surely as Kalir will forever circle the sun.
Cool the egg.
So it has. And a fine man the hatchling will be. I call him Zahn. Freedom. He is with the mages of Zambardim. I trust his care to no one else. Zahn's destiny will be his own to follow. Warrior, poet, explorer, scholar. His way will be the way of the comet. No chains to bind us, no lies to bury us. Liberty will be the rallying cry that unites our empire.
But yeah, that's wild. Like, I'm so glad there was some type of payoff. I think I told everything. This isn't random person barb.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. I find it hard to summon up the trademark pep these days. You have no idea who I am, do you? I thought Withers might have set the stage a little. I owe him a favor, one he is eternally invoking. I thought honoring the worthy was a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another. Languishing in obscurity. Cyric knew what he was doing when he punished me for that song, the prick. Before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song prayers coming out the proverbial ears. Guess how many I get now? None.
Musical prayers were once offered to Melil, Lord of Song, a minor deity whose worship faded after offending the trickster god Cyric.
I'm washed up, I'm afraid. You know. You're bloody right. It is an honor. Finally. The scribe picks an adventurer of substance, of culture. What can I do you for? Fantastical news. Carry on I shall.
I love putting a smile on people's faces. I like the way he went, like the way that guy's mood changed from being grumpy. Like, it's just small little NPC interactions like that. Alright, I think that's everything. Over here. How's the music? Alright, where's...
Yes.
This is it.
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. the balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over for now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
This was honestly one of the greatest companion-based games I've ever played. Like, I've gotten attached to every single one of these characters I've journeyed with and played with. Like, each of them have their own unique thing about them. Like,
To you.
well, critics.
our bodies know. Your blood like wine, I want it in. Oh, darling, get me drunk, invite me. It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do if I can only leave. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I'll never stop until I'm done. But just tonight, maybe I'll rest in peace. I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. I hear your heart beating my soul. Our endings bound, our bodies know. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I want to live, my only one. There's more to do if we can only live. The clock won't stop, and this is what we get.
second. Did I reset the credits? I might as well just switch away from it for a second. I just need to check on this one. Yo, wait, what? I can just go for the credits. I just gotta remember where I was. Okay, I remember seeing that. That was one of the last things I saw. Alright, I don't know where exactly I stopped then. So I just... Alright. Like, I'm surprised that it's like switching to different tablets. But also, this is the first time I've noticed that making a game make you scroll through credits. I think that's a cool quality of life feature. whoever wrote myself for being awesome on that thing, that made me laugh. And I also like the way you get to see these things. Like, I can imagine somebody just going around sharing something, or everyone sharing one of these around the office and everything. It's just, you can definitely feel the passion and love that was put into this game. Shout out to the boys. I don't know who the boys are, but hey. That reminds me, I need to catch up on the boys. Like, I watched the first season of it and stopped at the cliffhanger. And that cliffhanger was enough, or should have been enough to get me back in, and I wanted to, but I just got caught in school and other shows and stuff, so I'm gonna eventually finish that, or at least get caught up, and then watch the spin-off. The one thing that I regret is not using that sword, the Baldwin Giant Slayer sword. I can't remember the exact one you get from Answer. Like, a part of me kind of wishes there was some, like, I guess some type of mode or something where you can still, like, use your character and then just go around and it sets you back to, like, I guess it takes you back in time to a point, probably in Act 3, where you can just go around and just do stuff. But since there's no respawnable enemies in this game, like, it's not that type of game. So that's where you probably have to come up with a thing, because like another mode or something, because it's like, I like the combat of the game, and it's pushing me to get into D&D combat. since that's pretty much what it's based off. Like, I'd have to make some adjustments and stuff, but that's something to look into once I finish here. Because I do like the fact that I made sure to do everything I could in Act 3, because the first, at the first few levels are tough, but once you get going, when the game starts and then the combat is a lot more, not intuitive, but I guess you feel it'll get a lot more powerful. And then I guess you start shying away from combat a little bit more. Because I just like going around and just beating encounters once I hit my third act. Oh, that's another thing. I have been holding off on listening to the soundtrack on Spotify until I finish the game. So that is one of the first things I'm going to do after I finish up with this. Like I think I might have listened to the Raphael one as a treat for me being that one. Because like I said, that was probably the hardest encounter in the game. The final boss would have been harder if you were allowed to, I guess. I mean, if you had to take down that dragon, but the fact that I just was able to ignore that made things a lot easier.
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals, I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
That's a wrap on that. I wonder where it's going to put me at that now. Also, I want to know more about Withers, because Like, there's that. What happens if you go back to reunion camp?
Reunited with friends amidst
Adventure, adventure.
What more could I wish for?
There you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
Thank Mother Gith. The psionic projection is
Oh, so this is the point that puts you back out. Okay. So this reunion party.
This one night is like it. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate. What indeed? The bat hear me. Fun thou sleep until we meet.
Okay, I don't want to go for this again.
There thou art. Didst truly but thou saw'st, didst the gods thou make the sapling, the whimper, the death felled by over it, vermin?
Ooh, I like that little bit of war there. I'm glad I went back and did that. Well, this is it. Let me check how many hours I was on this. Because this playthrough. Like, let me see. Almost the 3. I'll just round up to 400. Like, I'll just, like, it's closer than a 3.9. Well, I'll just do 3. Like, if I'm being, like, specific, it's 382 hours. And so, that's a lot. My first single playthrough, but I did take my time to dilly dally with them. So, but anyways, this has been going on for a month. So, I guess that's all for now. I'm definitely starting another playthrough, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do all of that one fully. Although I'm probably gonna try it on Tactician this time. And then once I do that one, I'll try on it mode. But anyways, that's all for now.